Well, hello there. Welcome back to another episode of Starfield with Bad Day Guy Gaming, where we are going to be finishing up our outpost. Now, from the last episode, I ran out of some supplies, so I had to go get them. I will explain the new ship in a moment. When I got back, I went ahead and built the final building, so you guys wouldn't have to watch me do that. You saw me trying to do it last time. And I also went ahead and placed the weapons on top of the different airlocks in order to give me a little bit of protection from the wildlife. And I was able to do all this thanks to, well, my new ship. I've been collecting up quite a few thanks to me finding them pretty much laying around everywhere. So I went ahead and turned one into, well, that's going to be my cargo hauler for bringing supplies around. The Razor Leaf is pretty good. It has like 1,460, I think it is, cargo capacity on it. But this one is a little bit different. This one has 2120 on it. And with everything that I need to build here, and I brought tons of stuff, I'm only at 1301. That's because I did just use a little bit of it while off cam. I will show you that in a moment. But yeah, this is the dump truck. It's pretty much just a cargo hauler. I have 3 missile launchers on it. That's the only weapons on it because I dump everything else into what I have here. So I max everything out and yeah, it does pretty well. It's dirt slow. It has terrible maneuverability, and by terrible, I mean I think it's like at 21 or something like that. But yeah, she's just to haul junk. This is the dump truck. So now that I've explained that, we can get into doing a little bit decorating. I did decide to swap the beds out because I've decided I want this one here for me because I actually have some planning to do for the others. But to start, I did add a second gas storage tank to the first, and then I ended up moving the whole thing up about a foot because there was an argon gas vent that spawned in right under the stairs. And so for the first 3 flights of stairs up, I was taking damage. So, yep, moved it over a little bit. Now it can't spawn in. If it does, it will be underneath the platform right back over here instead. So I could safely get in and out. I did have to move some of the tanks and things forward a little bit, but not a big deal. I did slap down a couple of storage containers just because, well, I needed to store a little bit of stuff. I was going to have to make a couple of trips, and then I ended up just breaking down and making my dump truck here, so I ended up not needing that, but I thought I would give you guys a little bit of that anyway. And with the extra guns, I need a little extra power, and since I brought tons of supplies, I went ahead and set up all 3 of my windmills here. So yeah, see this vent? It was one of these just like that, a gas vent, but it was directly under the stairs. So that wasn't working for me. So now all that is set up, which by the way, I'm very disappointed because, well, anybody who's played the game for a while knows that the environment, the rocks and things will tend to walk. So the entire little rock formation down here that was really cool, very similar to something like this, that was going to be her little private ground working area is now gone. So it actually kind of works out though because I still have this rock formation up here that I was going to turn into like a little break area or something. So now I'm thinking somewhere around either these trees or up here is going to be her little work area while I fill the rest of this down here up with greenhouses and such. So I also moved the power to down here a little bit closer because yes, with them over here, and as you can see, a lot of these animals like to spawn over here, they did actually try to attack them. So I moved them over a little bit. So as you can see with the integrity, they're all repaired now, but one was down like halfway. So, yep, had to do that. So as we're going to be building and doing some decorating, I'm also going to put in some of the maintenance robots and stuff that will handle things, and they will act as a roaming defenses as well. So I am now at 36 total power with 26 needed because I might put more things up. And in fact, one of the first things that we are going to put up and there it is the scan booster. Now, I'm not sure if I'm going to use the smallest one, the medium size, or the large size. Now, I don't have a super cooled magnet for this one, and honestly, I think it's a little big in comparison to the place. So I really kind of like the very basic one because the way it spins, it actually looks really good when lit at night. So I believe this is what I'm going to do, and I'm actually going to center this guy. No, not too close to those, because I'm going to light those up. Maybe if I put it over here, but then these guys might want to attack it. I definitely want it on an elevated position where it gets a good line of sight. So I'm thinking just right over here. I think this will be good. Let me turn this in this way a tad. Right there. Let it open up. And there we go. That lit up with lights at night I think will work pretty darn well. And I actually let the time go a little bit more into the evening, specifically because one of the things I'm going to start focusing on here in a moment is going to be lighting and getting things set up. But while we do still have a little bit of light, we're going to start looking at some of the other added buildings and such that I might want to use. Now I've got all the extractors, one of each, so that's going to work for now. Got the lights that I'm going to be working on in a little bit. I've got some fabricators and things, but I think I'll be doing those as ground-based. However, I am going to put... And we have a bug. Hold on one moment. When this happens, there's a quick and easy fix. Oh, quick save. And then load the quick save. Ever since the newest update, that's been an issue, but all you have to do is quick save and then load the quick save right back in, and there we go. See? No problem. That's a little side effect of their most recent patch. So I think some of the first things I'm going to do is now she comes out on this side. Yep, I think one over here. Yeah, I don't really like how that's sinking into the ground, but oh, okay, I think right there will work. And then let's do a single. This one. Okay. Yep, that one's not going to stand there, so I'm going to end up leaving this rock. Putting this one here. Yeah, I think that will work. Let me link this guy to this one. And then I will create a second tank. I'm probably going to end up moving all of the tanks to right over here for storage. So I'm going to need uphill. And then actually I will probably end up needing to and then get to the storage tanks. Add a second one here. This one's going to link to this one, this one. Yeah, let's link it to the small one first. And then what I will do is I will eventually add a third, and I will add another link to this one over here so it can produce. So this is going to be, she will come down her stairs, cross this path right here, and I will decorate this. And she will come down to down here. Now these guys will produce. So I am going to need a single storage container here for their production. So I think I should put it right here. Yep. With the output link of this going to here. There we go. I think that will do that. As you can see, my one storages here are already full. They filled up almost instantly. So I was not able to use those at all for storage, but I did put around a few warehouses. But I am now going to actually, there we go. Add a, nope, not there. There we go. I want that one right there. And then back. And then this one. Nope, that makes the rocks disappear. So this one will go here. Nope, it's in the ground. It won't let me build there. Then I think what I will have to do is move this one over to here. Now I can add this one here, switch this back to a small for here. Now that should be sufficient storage. This one will actually link to the little one here, which will link to the big one down here. This one will link to there. Now that provides some basic storage around that looks pretty good. The gas tanks, I will add a second one to right there. Now this one will then link to that top one. Gives some very natural looking storage around. I think that'll do nicely. Now she needs a storage shed down here, so let's look at getting one of these. Now I moved the water from here because I wanted it over there a little bit more, so now I think I am going to give her a little storage shed right under here. And I still need to reduce the sensitivity. So there we go. Now she got a nice little storage shed. Nice little storage shed here. And then I'm going to need something up here. But I think what I'm going to do is place myself a couple of small ones here, just so that I can keep some things in the back. And then I'm going to need a little bit more of some kind of mass storage for a lot of this stuff. But I think I will figure that out later and use that as more local decorations. Now that it's getting dark, it's time to begin working on lighting. So, where was it? Right down here. Now, the big industrial light posts. Now, I only have 5 0 wire, but I can make some more. But in order to do that, let's build ourselves an industrial workbench. Now, one of the things I wanted to do is put an industrial workbench right over here. They do already come to this point, but then this will add a little bit more. So what we're going to do actually is head out to do this in person. And hopefully the guns will protect because there are baddies around. So let's get right down here. Get back to where I was. Now, I'm going to make this area because of these nice little trees and everything. It's kind of cool. So I'm going to make this into a little bit of a work area here. It's also nice and level. The pieces sink into the dirt pretty well, so this works. So let's go ahead and build this one here. And give me a second, I'll make a little bit of 0 wire. Oh, I can make quite a few. Alright. Now, back indoors. And that is a perfect example, by the way, of how you can make things both functional, easy to get to, because like if I were to fast travel here, I would actually end up standing right here next to this tree, which, by the way, oh, I've already harvested that. It will respawn with time, but I will actually spawn in right here facing this way, so I can run either into my house or to the ship, or usually to storage, because I'm either picking things up or dropping things off. Now that I'm safe in here, which we will be decorating this, let's head back out for lighting. Now, one of the things that I like to do, especially with the big windmills, because it makes it look really good at night, is to put up the industrial light post. And if you look closely, there's single-sided that angles down, and there's double-sided. Now in this case, I'm going to use one double-sided right here. Get that rock to stay right on the edge. That will be, let me zoom in. There we go. Try to line these up. Bingo. This one actually needs, nope, can't move it any closer because of the rock. So this one needs to move over here just a bit. There we go. Get a little bit more light on it, so that will light up at night. And this one on the other side will get the single in order to light this one up. Now the catch is this shines down. I don't mind getting rid of these rocks, but I want to keep the bushes there in the center. So I'm going to line this one up and right there. Now that should be lit up really well at night and make the place glow. Now for the radar dish here, because of my view is going to be mostly from this side, I want to light it up from this side. And these are very similar. You have different types. You have 4 that are flat, Spin this around. 4 that are angled. 2 that are flat and 2 that are angled. It costs the same, uses the same power, everything, so I always use the 4 just because it makes a little bit more light. But in this case, since I am going to be lighting it up from the top of the hill facing down, I actually need the ones that are angled down like this. And then what I'm going to do is slide this right up here. Make sure that works well. And there we go. Now I can move that a tiny touch closer. Get the light a little bit more centered, and there we go. Now it's all nice and lit up. No matter where you are in the place, you'll see it spinning. Same thing. The big industrials I can't do, but I can still make quite a few of the little ones. Now these guys, I do the 4 flat because there's a trick with those. There we go. The 4 flat lights, and I put it right up against it. Let me zoom in for maximum detail. There we go. There's one there. We are going to have our other one here. Line this one up. Zoom in. There we go. Now these guys are nice and lit up. You'll see them moving at night. Now these guys here are a little bit different. Because of the fact that these lights don't shine so far, and I'd like to light up several of these, this is a situation where I would like to use an industrial post with the double lights, but that's actually just too much for these little guys. So what I like to do is set up 2 lights facing diagonal near the center one here. So one pointed over here and one pointed over here, and then one in the center. But set this one to the angle down ones, and it lights up this little area, and then I can put little toolboxes and things here and make it look like that's the equipment they use to maintain the solar panels. So it adds for future decoration. Now it's time to start lighting up most of our actual structures. Now, I always put a large power pole facing into the main stairwell, but in order to do that, I would need to grab a few more adaptive frames because I only have 1 now and I need 4. So to get more adaptive frames, let's back out. Run back out again. I do build the manufacturing machines for decoration now, but I hardly ever use them. There's just very little purpose other than for hoarding equipment and supplies and such, and I just build as needed. I don't need all of that running in the background. Remember, the planets are spinning, all of them. They're rotating, they're circling around their suns, all of the orbits, everything is already being calculated by the game engine. And adding a whole bunch of production to it, that just causes huge amounts of lag. It is like the redstone in Minecraft, and unless you're specifically farming for resources, there's no point, because you can pretty much easily, let me go back. Now I need the industrial light post with the angled lights because I am going to be quite a bit uphill here. Now, what I want to do is try to save these trees but light it up nice, and I'm thinking that'll do. All the way from the bottom to the top is reasonably well lit. Let me pick it up and just do a hint of adjustment right there. Now the whole thing's well enough lit up that it should not be any issues, unless I think I might move it to this way just to get a little bit better angle on the back side. Yeah, and then actually back this up and tilt it just a hair this way. Right there. That'll do perfect. All the way from the bottom to the top should be well enough lit up. It even lights up the little cargo area with a cargo elevator inside. So that should be just fine. Now on to small lighting. The key to small lighting these buildings is go all the way up so that the light shines onto the stairwell. And then you want one on the ground on this side. So to do that one, I lower it down a bit, right about to the middle, and then clip it on right next to the wall. It lights up the wall door, the ground, and everything, so it gets decent lighting so that you could see to get in and out very easy without any issues. And we're going to do that to all of them. Now, like on this one, you can place one up here, lights up that. One down here, again lower. Now with these green habs, I like to, if I can, have a better idea. Let's do these manually because you have much finer adjustments. And see, plenty of light. This one's hitting the top of the box. If I were to move the box, it would get better light down here, but I don't really need it. The main thing is the light up here. This one, there's not really a good way to get it shine down here, but this is close enough. And as you can see, very well lit at night. The benefit of using moons of gas giants, ringed or solid like this, very nice effect. So let's head back down here. I will put up a light post here facing on this area to light it up a little bit more, as well as some of these other areas. Like I say, I'm going to turn this into like a little break area with some tables and chairs where they play some cards, most likely right here. Let's get, oh, wrong one. Let's go ahead and get back to lighting. Can still build plenty of these, so let's put one here. Nice lighting on the ground there, that one up there. And one of the things I like to do with these guys is just put a few around to light up the ground. That one does absolutely nothing, so he's coming away. Going on to this side. That's nice. Provides a little bit of feel of security. This one. Right there. Makes it feel like you can walk around at night without the place being scary, I guess you would say. Now you can't put lights on the greenhouses themselves, but you can light this area up. I do want to keep this little walkway open here because I think this looks cool, and this spot right here will be a nice place just to have some tools and equipment and stuff lying around. So I think I'm going to, right about here, go ahead and put another pole light, one of the short ones. Not the industrial. One of these guys, but the one that angles downward. Where should I put it? If I put it right in the center here, it kind of leaves a pathway on each side. I think that is what I will do, except for the fact that because of the angle, it's not providing any significant light. So what I think I will do is put it right in the middle here and turn it around so that it lights up the whole general work area here. And I think that will do. Just gives a little bit of a feeling of light. And as I said before, she's going to be coming around this way, most likely, because here's our stairs. She can walk around the long way, but most likely she's going to be moving along here. So we're going to put up a little bit of lights here to light this side, which I think we're going to do one of the wide bars just to really light this area up. Actually, I think I'm going to put this one low on this side, centered on there. I do have the windows set that way because of the stairwell. So if I put that right there, that makes that nice. And then I think what I'll do is switch to just a single one here to light this area. And maybe place this one right next to the window, just to provide a little bit of lighting. I could use a pole, but then it would be kind of shining in the window, and I don't like that. And I think this is very suitable for her little pathway up to work. I will put a few other poles around here to light up these other areas where people walk around. But we'll get to that with final decorating. Once I decide what I'm putting where out here, then I will light that up. While we're here, let's go ahead and put short light post, angle downward. Put this one a little closer to these bushes. Turn it a little bit. There we go. And then, as I said, when I spawn in, I will be coming in right here. Now this side over here, I can put a large set of lights on this one to light the pathway coming to here. I think that would be a good idea. Now, obviously down here would be way too low. But I'm thinking if I center it right here and put it as low as possible. Yeah, that lights up very well. I am happy with that. Let's do a single on this side. Can I get that to line up there? Yes, that looks very good to light up that side. This side, we're going to do the same, but we're going to put it over here on this end and drop it down as low as possible to keep this side lit up, even though, yeah, actually it makes sense. They'll run around both ways. So I think that works out pretty well. Yep, scanner dish working nice. See, I want to emphasize this break in the grass here as the pathway. So I think what I should do now is go ahead and put, not an industrial, a regular. Let's do one angle down, or no, this one, because it's going uphill. We should maybe do the flat one. Let's see how this one works. It's going to be way too much. Yep. Let's see. Light post. Let's do the angle down. Back it up even a little bit more. There we go. That's emphasizing it quite well. But I think what I'll do is move it down here. Drop this there. Really give an idea of where the path is. let's start putting some of our double lights right between the bars here. Right between the bars here. That's good for that. Now for these sides, I'm going to put it all the way up at the top. So that'll light this area up well. This one might be a little low. Let's go ahead and put this one up at the top too. Yeah, that works. Oh, excuse me. Now, this side, I don't really need to light up this area here with the rocks. I'm going to decorate this like I spend my time as a hobby, breaking up these rocks to get them out of the way. But this area I do want lit, so let's go with the double light. Center it on this edge, move it up right to the line, and there we go. Nice lighting out here. We don't need lighting here because we've got this guy, but we do need our lighting for our walkways. Now this one's going to be fun because it's an extra long. So let's get this switched to the singles. Now to light up the top stairwell up there, and then one down here at the very bottom to light up the ground here. Move on to this side, put one right in the middle, and it lights up that stairway. Let's see how this looks now. Yep, it'll be nice and lit up even in the darkest night, and that should keep the place looking pretty cool. Now I could put one right here just to make sure I have really good lighting on the underside of that there. Now I do want a light over here, and I think what I'll do just to light this area is put one on each side. Those are a bit too high to light up the ground good, so I'm going to move these down, not all the way to the bottom, but pretty close, and even them out. There you go, that's shining better. And of course, here comes the sun when you want it to be daylight. You can't see anything. It gets dark real quick, and then when you're trying to do lighting, the sun comes up. But I think we're pretty much done. I have my nice little area. I am going to, oh, I did put a couple of storage units back here for myself, and if I need them, I may add another one here, and then put a double that's sticking out so that it looks pretty cool. But for now, I like using these because it gives me a nice little walking path through here. So all of this in time will be decorated. Things will work a lot better. Speaking of decorations, let's go ahead and get back in just real quick because there's a couple of things that I did want to point out. I'm going to put a weapons workbench in here, and most likely an armor workbench in here as well. I do want the other NPCs to come up here and use these buildings, and having those workbenches in here, they will come. I do already have my bed upstairs, so I don't need anything with that right at this moment, but I do want to use the double workspace in the agricultural building in order to put a med station in there and possibly a research station, because they both look like biological equipment in order to be doing testing and stuff. But I also specifically want one thing that's going to be in here. specifically to allow me to assign workers. And I'm going to use 2 workers and robots. It was, where are you? Is it in here? Not in here, so it should be... This is strictly decorations. I'm looking for the desk. Should be under furniture, or is it? There it is. Never mind. It's right here. The cruise station. Now, this I'm going to assign down here because this is going to be... up here will be the habitat for the one person, and they will have their own like work desk that they can sit at. But in order to get the other crew members down to here, now I'm going to have the research station probably over here in this corner, the med station probably here, with scientific decorations in between them. So I think what I want to do is just put the workstation right here in this corner with these desks, the chairs sitting on this side. The guy won't be tucked into the corner if I turn it this way. So let's get this built and then straightened up and back into the line. Okay, why is it being so finicky? Here we go, and oh, come on. Right there. Oh, and now, since it's lined up that way, let's line it up this way, and there we go. And then I could put a little chest or a small table here, something that's out of the way and not blocking the stairs, so that the angle matches the window. Bookshelf, table decorations, things over here that are narrow and close to the wall as well. And yeah, I think that will do for that. Let's go ahead while we're here and drop a couple of the workbenches, as I said, that I wanted in here. Now the industrial's outside, cooking's going up in the main house, pharmaceutical lab. Even though I'm not going to have an actual clinic here, this is going to be a semi-sorta clinic area. So she's doing her experimentation here. I'm going to move this out a little bit, just enough so that I can have a small cooler sitting next to it there. Let's get a research. This is smaller and will fit in this corner nice with the window being the way it is. Come on. There. Now, let me test these, make sure they're not blocked. And no problem. Let me check this one. No problems. This one does not have a huge amount of room. I did consider putting the workstation in here as an office to encourage them to come in here, but it just wouldn't fit. It would stick out just a hair bit to the door because of this angled wall. And I didn't want to put it anywhere else with the partitions on it. It just looked out of place. Oops, sorry. So what I've decided to do is... I considered putting the cooking station in here just to get them to come in, but I do plan on putting that up into the main place because I like to make a nice formal kitchen. So what I think I might do in here is put a second spacesuit in here, bench, because the cool thing about it is this is the guy who basically does all the maintenance. So the idea that he would have his own spacesuit repair, because he probably wears his out a lot. And then it would allow for a certain amount of tools and things to go in here. Let's see if I can move this over a little bit more and get it to sit. I like it kind of better with his feet on that one railing. The one bad side about this military hab. I think that will do. Let's see if I can get it a touch farther back without it floating. Nope, that is literally as good as it gets. So there. And then what I'm going to do up in the main house is going to be weapons workbench and the kitchen. And I might go ahead and do a second armor bench. I will have to look at if I do that, because I'm not going to be doing a huge amount of modding of my suits and helmets here. I tend to always go back to my main outpost for all of that. So let's go ahead and definitely drop a weapons. Now, this weapons I like to put on this side for a specific reason. I drop one here. And then, yeah, I think it will go ahead. I have plenty of materials. So let's get this one with just a hair bit. Here we go. Right. Just a hair bit away from the wall. And then a research station here. So that should work out pretty well. Give me access to most of the things without having to run around. And a cooking station. Now, I've decided I want my bedroom on this side and the kitchen on this side. But then I can't see my ship. And this is a pretty nice backdrop, but this has privacy. So yeah, I think I'm going to keep the privacy there. That puts the kitchen on this side. So what I do is put this right over to the edge and squeeze it back as far as I can. Right there. I'm going to have to tuck it in just a little bit tighter. Right there, because I need that little bit of gap. It's a little bit too much. Right there. I need that little bit of gap for the most important thing, the refrigerator. I like my cold beer. There we go. And I will be doing a whole lot of decorating on this place, but I'm not going to make you guys sit through all of that part. I will show you in random tours as I'm passing through. As an example, after this, I am going to be heading back to my primary HQ on the other side of the galaxy. And yeah, I will give you guys a tour of that there. Speaking of other side, in case you guys are wondering where I am, the planet, which by the way here again, I always name my outpost after all of my non-primary outposts after what's there. Here there's copper, antium, argon, and water. So that's what this place produces. I'm in the Numeria system, if you're wondering where that is. That is the absolute top of the map. Cheyenne is way down here. Narian, Alpha Centauri Sol, and way out here is Tau Ceti, which is my primary HQ. I went through all of these planets scanning and just trying to find a place where I wanted to build. Now from Numeria, these are quite a ways back. I am going to be doing some serious modifications and working towards a Class B and C ship here soon, simply because in order to get out, I have to go quite a way. And my goal is to at least have 4 outposts in these far out edge of the map places for me to be able to get to, such as I'd like to eventually to get to these stars so that I can have an outpost ringing the entire section of the galaxy. And as y'all know, what you're looking at here is just one small section of one arm of the Milky Way galaxy. So if you're wondering, yeah, there's still plenty of room for DLC to add a lot more. And there's plenty of other arms in the galaxy for sequels. So I think Starfield will be going somewhere. And that's it. I'll see you guys next time. And we will be back at Tal Ceti for a final tour of that place before we get back on mission and get back out there exploring. Until then, this is Bad Day Guy Gaming, signing off.